Pedro from A&P-REACTS. I'm here today with Chris to talk about, not Gravedigger. Today we're here to talk about Hellryder and the new album, debut album, The Devil is a Gambler, out May 28th on Rock of Angels. So how's it going?
Yeah, I think everything's fine. We have a lot of work. We finished the album a couple of weeks ago, starting the promo, doing interviews. Meanwhile, we are doing 4 new songs with the band, Hellryder, 4 cover versions, but by my life, I won't tell you that what we are doing. It's too crazy. And I'm sitting here in my studio, start mixing bands, producing bands also. And parallel, we are working on the new Gravedigger album.
Wow. So I will ask you maybe 1 or 2 questions at the end about that Gravedigger album. But before, let's talk about Hellryder. When did this project start to take shape in your mind?
It was 2017. As you remember, we had some Motorhead cover versions in the past. We did some Motorhead-oriented songs on the Return of the Reaper album and also on the Exhumation album. And Axel and I told Axel, hey, it's really fun to sing like Lemmy. And I think I can use my voice this way. Really, it's fun. And then we decided to do a complete record. And then at first we had the name Hellryder, and then we had the logo, but what we not had was time. And then we moved it. Okay, let's do it next year. Okay, then another Gravedigger record, other tour. Okay, let's do it after next year. Yeah. So we moved it, but then a little small virus came into our land, come over from China. Yeah, everybody knows this story. And then immediately we had a lot of time because, no shows, nothing. And the Gravedigger album was ready in last March. We did all the interviews. We couldn't shoot any videos for that because of all the what can I tell you? It was forbidden to meet each other and everything. So because of the lockdown, and so we had time. And then I said, Axel, I think now it's the time to do the Hellryder stuff, because now or never. And then we sat together in summertime and we started writing songs and producing the album.
Where did the name Hellryder come from?
I don't know if you know that I was part in a project or in a band a couple of years ago called the Fire Dogs.
Oh, I didn't know.
Have you heard about that? No. It was some kind of rock and roll band here in Germany. And Fire Dogs was written with this Y, like Hellryder, and we thought about the name. I said, hey, I can't do any reunion with the Fire Dogs guys, so we make Hellryder with a Y in it. So it's very simple.
So that's where it was all born. Now, looking at this record, you had the idea, you had the vision. What made Timmy and Steven the perfect match for the vision that you guys had in place for what you wanted out of Hellryder?
At the beginning, we thought about who can be the bass player or the drummer, and Steven is an old friend of Axel, and he asked him, and Steven said, "Oh no, I'm the new bass player of Ornoga, and I don't have time." And okay, 2 weeks later, Axel said, "Hey, you want to join Hellryder? It's a really cool band. You want to listen to it?" And he gave him some stuff to listen to. And Steven said again, "Oh no, I'm the bass player of Ornoga, blah blah blah." And the third time, Axel said, "Okay, Steven, now you are the new bass player." And he said, "Okay."
It seems like everybody had a little bit more time now.
And he likes this project a lot, and we can't tell it a project. It's more or less a band now. And Tim is a drummer. I know him from the Bonfire and Friends too here in Germany. I call him the German Tommy Lee because he's playing and with a drumstick, everything. He's 27 years old, and it could be my son, you know.
Hmm.
And and when we asked him, he was, yeah, I want to do it. I want to do it. It's great. And yeah, we had a lot of fun to shoot the videos and record all the stuff. And yeah, it's some new experience, you know. On one side, we have Gravedigger. We are such a long time together. On the other side, we have a Hellryder with new members. And each band has its spirit, you know.
Mm. It has its own sound. Do you see yourselves as a super group, or are you guys just a very good group of friends?
We are a good group of friends, and the company thought that we are some kind of super group. Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah,
It's a good marketing scheme, you know?
definitely, because people who knows us, they know that we're not a super group, you know. And some journalists blame us. Hey, you are not a super group. Hey, yeah, we are super good friends, so we are a super group, you know.
I love it. I love it. That's the best way to put it. That's the best way to put it. Now, for those people that haven't heard Hellryder and they're listening to this conversation, how do you define the differences between Gravedigger as far as the sound is concerned in Hellryder? How would you define those differences?
At first, with Gravedigger, we have the direction of classic heavy metal, you know. And when we decided to do Hellrider, Axel and I, we told each other, said, hey, all the things we can't do with Gravedigger, we do now with Hellrider, you know. And with Gravedigger, we go on this historical concept, with this classical metal, what we played since 41 years. So nothing will change, you know. It's good or it's bad. So, but with Hellrider, we are really open for everything. We can, we have 4 new songs in the pipeline, which will release before Christmas. No, I see it in your face. We don't do a Christmas album.
I was just going to ask you. I mean, like, I've heard this album, "The Devil Is a Gambler." I would be very interested to hear what your own take of Christmas songs would sound like, considering how this album sounds. But I'm glad that you're not going down that road.
Yeah, I say to Axel, we can do a crowdfunding for a Christmas album. What do you think about that? And he said, we don't need the money in prison, you know. So, by the way, it's the 4 new songs we are doing. There are 4 cover versions from one band, and it's so funny. We had this idea during the video shoot, and we said, okay, we are something like them, and let's do. Because when we discussed it, we need some more songs for live shows because the album is only 38 minutes long, and a super group must play longer than 38 minutes, you know. But by the way,
at least 45.
I think so. So we decided to do 4 more songs from the Sex Pistols, and no, sure. No, but you will be really. I can't tell you now because it's really a joke. It's great, and it's much better than Zombie Dance, you know.
And you guys are having fun, which is also important.
We have a lot of fun, and yes, I think if you describe this music, it's when we sought for a title for this kind of music, we thought of this dirty, kick-ass heavy metal. It's heavy metal on one side, but it's dirty, it's dark, but it's not death metal. But I think the first 2 songs we wrote for this album you can listen to are really Motorhead cover stuff. It's Bad Attitude and it's Harder, Faster, Louder. These songs sound like Motorhead. And then the whole development of the music turned in another direction, a little bit away from the Motorhead stuff, more to their own kind of music, you know.
You know, when I was listening to the album, I thought to myself, this is what Motorhead would sound like if they were still around and they released a brand new album in 2021. So that's my compliment to you guys.
Oh, thank you very much. That is the biggest compliment you can do, man.
Yeah, I just thought that you guys had that grit. It's that it's not pure heavy metal. It's not rock. It's somewhere in between or a merger of the two. But it has grit. It has that dirt on it, and not just musically, but also vocally. I was really impressed with your vocals. I was not expecting those vocals on when I started listening to the album, because in my mind I was thinking Gravedigger. So when I came in and I pressed play, I'm like, wow, he can do that. Sounds amazing. So how much work is it? Is it hard for you to approach the vocals from this different perspective?
No, the first thing is that we play, all the music is played on a baritone guitar, and the baritone guitar is 5 half tones down from a normal tuning, you know. And so I automatically sing deeper because the tuning is deeper. Yeah, I think we use nearly the same tuning like Korn. So well, I'm proud it's Korn, you know.
Well, you guys are a super group, so you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah. I think that Korn will ask me when the singer will left there. So and the rest is my normal voice. It's only deeper. Yeah. And in the beginning, I tried to give the Motorhead touch to the voice, but during the recordings, I said, "Hey, why? It's naturally what I'm doing here, and I sound the way it is, you know." And yeah, I think it came from my body and my soul, because on one side I have the love to this kind of music, and I think you can feel it also if you listen to this record. It's some media said, oh, it's a bit it sounds a bit let's say for something, but it's completely natural. We never wrote songs like that so fast, you know. And it was yeah, I think we are twin brothers.
Who, you and Lemmy?
Like Bill Gates and at the Gates, you know.
Yeah, they're separated at birth. They're definitely separated at birth. When I was listening to the album, one of the things that I thought was really good about it is how fluid it is. Like, you guys created a record that the moment you press play until the album is over, you don't really want to walk away from the record. You feel like you're engaged with the album and you want to stay with it. What do you attribute to that? Is it the way you guys constructed the record in terms of the order of the songs? Is it the fact that the record is under 40 minutes? Is it the sound? Like, what do you attribute to that continuous line, to that fluidity that the album has?
I think it's also the playing time, you know. If you listen to a Dream Theater record for 76 minutes or something like that, you felt bored after 30 minutes. I felt bored after 30 minutes, and I prayed that I can walk away, you know. And
you want to run away.
Yeah, run away. And if you have a playing time between 35 or 40 minutes, it's like a plane, like a train running. Yeah? And there, I think the songs are really short, more or less. I think the longest song is 4 minutes 30 seconds or something like that. And most of the songs are under 3 minutes. And you feel it. It's a little bit some kind of psychological effect, you know, that it's running fast, and then it's over. And you say, whoa, where's the time, you know? And but on the other side, I think it's a sound. It's natural. Yeah, it's dirty. Yeah, it's a dirty sound. We keep an eye on that. That it's it sounds like more natural, that you're standing in a rehearsal room, something like that. You know, Gravedigger is a little bit polished, you know, with a bigger production, everything. But this is more the direct way into your heart.
Yeah, it feels almost like you guys recorded the album live, but you were in the studio. So it has a little bit of a jam session, raw grit sound to it.
Yeah, it could be, but it isn't.
And I know you touched a little bit on the guitars in terms of down tuning the guitars to have that more umph sound. I really like the overall sound of the guitars on this record from beginning to the end. It's one of the things that you walk away, in my opinion, the drums are super consistent. And then the two things that you walk away remembering is your vocals, because I was surprised by them. I was not expecting it. And then the other is the sound of the guitars. I really like how the guitars sound on this album. Was that the goal from the beginning? You wanted the guitars to have this very distinct approach?
Yeah, for sure. When we said, okay, we can do it in a normal tuning, then it sounds like Motorhead, you know, with a normal tuning. But with this baritone guitar, it's totally different. And the funny thing, it's nearly the original Gravedigger guitar sound. It's a Marshall and it's a Boss overdrive. That's all, you know. And but because of the tuning, it sounds totally different. That is, I didn't expect that from the beginning. That it sounds so different, you know.
Did you guys face any specific challenges with this record? I mean, it's the first time that all four of you are working together on a record. I mean, you guys have tons of experience individually, but first time you're bringing these four souls together into a studio. Was there any specific challenges for you guys?
Not really, because everybody knows how it is in the studio. There, we are not young people, but we have the energy of the young people, and I think it's a beginning, you know, the beginning of a journey. We don't want to step back. It's totally equal if we sell a lot or not, because we have fun, and that is the most important thing with Hellryder. We are doing that not for the money, you know. It's fun. It's something we can't do with Gravedigger, but we want to do, and that's the reason why we do Hellryder.
Is this going to be a one-off? I don't think it will be. But do you guys have? I know you guys have those four covers in the works. But is this something that you want to continue to make music for, Hellryder?
Sure, for sure. We want to play live next year. Okay, we have 3 different bands to coordinate, you know. But on the other side, if we have time, we play live. I think we have plans, and it will be also a totally different show with Hellryder from Gravedigger show. You know, I'm not standing the whole time there making this here, and it's, you see our clothes in the video and everything on the photos, and that will be also live. It's it's totally different approach what we are doing there.
It allows you to represent a different side of yourself, something that you can do with Gravedigger.
Yeah, we can do it with Gravedigger, then we get a shitstorm too.
Yeah. This is like your leather wearing alter ego, if you will.
Yeah, something like you know, there's a song on the album called Jekyll and Hyde, you know.
Yeah, one of my favorites, by the way.
Yeah, and I feel something like that. Gravedigger is Jekyll and Hellryder is Mr. Hyde, you know.
One last question for you about this album and the band. What do you hope fans walk away with once they listen to this album?
Fun, sorry?
What do you hope the fans get out of the experience of listening to this record?
They should have fun. That's all. They should celebrate drinking beer, sitting in the sun, listening to Chainsaw Lily, looking at naked girls, you know, or naked boys too.
Yeah, whatever.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know. But it's always fun. This music is to be, yeah. When I think about this, I'm sitting in a cabriolet on a long highway. The sun is shining, 3 chicks behind me, you know, and a lot of beer, smoking.
It's when I was listening to the album, I was talking to my son about it, and I said, "This is road trip music. You want the windows down, the song blasting on your radio, and you just enjoying the wind on your face. Listen to this as you're riding into the sunset or whatever it is that you're riding to."
Oh, driving against a tree or something.
That would be a completely different experience.
For sure, like Tiger Woods, you know.
I don't think he was listening to Hellryder when he had his accident, but that
I
would be
think so
great
too.
promotion.
Yeah, I think so. That he got the album, because I'm playing golf too, you know, and I've sent it to him. No, it's a joke, but I think it's really. Or you driving a motorcycle, you know, and have a big party with fire and meat and grill and everything.
Yeah. Oktoberfest.
Yeah, it's
Oktoberfest.
canceled.
I heard, but in thinking of motorcycles, maybe when you guys have your first live show, you can come on stage riding a bike, or maybe that's a little bit too Judas Priest. I don't know.
I think you need some money to bring 4 bikes on a stage.
You can bring a sidecar, the bike with the sidecar. So.
Yeah. Or I give a call to my friend Joey DeMaio. Perhaps he has some motorcycles in his garage so far, and he can rent it to me.
Yeah, maybe he can let you borrow a couple.
No, also the clothes from the past.
I don't think, from clothing perspective, I think you guys are fine. I wouldn't be calling him to borrow anything as far as clothing goes.
There's really a funny. I want to tell you a funny story about Joey DeMaio. In 1997, we played the Gods of Metal Festival in Milano, in Italy, and there was a big hall with 10,000 people inside, and there were dressing rooms at each side of the hall, you know, and Manowar had one floor with all dressing rooms, and the other bands had one floor for 7, 8 bands on one floor. And then I was in the dressing room, and he knocked on my door, and there was a backliner from Manowar. Oh, is there Chris Boltendahl here? I said, yes, it's me. Oh, yeah, your true metal brother, Joey DeMaio, wants to speak to you. Okay. Oh, I said, proud, hey, great man. Joey DeMaio, ooh, ah. And we walked, it was a 15 minutes walk to the dressing room of Joey DeMaio. And the backliner knocked at his door, and Joey DeMaio opened the door. He's 1.50 meters or something. Yeah, it's a very small guy. And he came to me and said, "Hi, Chris." He gave me his hand. "I want to greet my true metal brother from Germany." And I said, "Oh yes, hi, Joey, how are you doing?" And he took out my hand, turned around, and walked in his dressing room. That was all.
That was it?
Yes, that was it. And I was there like, huh? Was it a ghost or something?
It's like meeting Jesus.
Yeah, I think he is. Oh wow, man, this guy is. It's another story.
Well, what a way to finish this conversation with a Joey DeMaio story. I mean, like, I think everybody in the metal world, when they think of great bass players, they think of him.
Yeah, I think so too. He's some kind of Jesus.
He walks on water, but it's during winter, and the lake is frozen.
I think I saw him in the TV last night. He was there with a sign in front of the Capitol, with a sign, alone standing there, and free John Schaffer, you know.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. Like that would be a very Manowar thing to happen.
Yeah, free John Schaffer.
That would definitely be a very Manowar thing to happen. Well, Chris, thank you very much for the laughs, for the story, for your time. All the best for you guys with this release, Hellryder. Once again, out May 28th. The Devil is a Gambler. By the way, I love that name. That title is incredible. It has a little bit of Motorhead Lemmy in that title as well. So I love that. Thank you. It's always a pleasure. I consider you a very good friend of mine, so it's always a pleasure to sit down and chat with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, my friend, and have a nice day. Yeah, bye, Pedro. See you. Bye.